Hello, and have we got some breathtaking news for you today? The SEC has sued Kraken. They sued Coinbase, they sued Binance, and now they have sued Kraken for the exact same reason. They failed to register as a securities exchange. Now, Kraken wanted to settle the lawsuit with the SEC before, but this time they are determined to fight the SEC to the death, and they posted it on Twitter as so much. So basically, they obviously don't agree with the SEC anymore. So Kraken, one of the world's largest crypto exchanges, this is from Reuters, but everyone's reported on this, was sued on Monday by the SEC, that organization run by the evil Gary Gensler. The lawsuit in San Francisco federal court is the latest step in the SEC chair Gary Gensler's push to bring cryptocurrency under his agency's purview. However, let me remind you that's not going so well because they lost the case against Ripple and they might just lose the case against Coinbase, which means they would actually lose the case against Kraken as well because they're suing Coinbase, Kraken, and Binance for pretty much the exact same thing. So you got to think if Coinbase wins the case, Kraken's going to win the case as well. And Coinbase is moving not to really even fight the case, but to have the case dismissed. And I think they have a very, very good argument for dismissal. And they're trying to say that digital assets are investment contracts subject to federal securities laws. Now, the Coinbase case is obviously, with the Kraken case, is on secondary markets, and they're saying those are not contracts. And I think like the judge is going to be inclined to agree with them. Kraken is going to defend itself. So I think the SEC has hit another roadblock here because the only cases in crypto where the SEC has been able to win are those cases where they've sued companies too small and not rich enough to actually defend themselves. And that's how they won against LBRY because LBRY did not have enough money to go forward with the appeal. But unfortunately for them, Coinbase and Kraken are actually fairly large companies and do actually have the funds to defend themselves. When they've come up against, Ripple, who had the money to defend themselves, they lost. When they came up against Grayscale, who had the money to actually sue them, they lost. And I think it's going to go the same way with Coinbase and Kraken. I think the SEC is trying to sue to disgorge as much money as possible because, these lawsuits for the U.S. government are expensive. And if they can't get a huge disgorgement, they actually might lose some of their funding. And there's bills in Congress, noted by Tom Emmer, saying that we should defund the SEC in their quest against crypto. So they're saying the federal government money can't be used by the SEC to go after crypto. Now, I'm not really sure if that's going to pass. My guess is it's probably not going to pass. But, there are basically orders and there are basically attempts to restrain the SEC. And no, the SEC, I think they know that the sides are closing in on them. So they're trying to get as much jurisdiction, as much money as possible, as many concessions as possible before it all closes in on them and they actually lose that power. Gary Gensler is very, very concerned with his legacy. I think his ambitions wants to be the Secretary of Treasury one day, and it's not going very well for him. So the thing is, he's trying to build this reputation, but it's costing crypto a lot. And I think crypto should fight back and make him pay dearly for what he's done by taking him down in all these lawsuits. And if you take him down in all these lawsuits, he's not going to look like a great candidate in the future for the Secretary of Treasury. So crypto is doing a fair number on him, but he's continuing to fight the inevitable loss that the SEC is going to suffer under his leadership. And there are dissensions among the SEC as well. So the thing is, there's more government officials turning on him. There's more commissioners turning on him. And overall, the overall sentiment seems to be moving against the SEC. And they still have not proved, even in the Terra Luna's case, that it was actually a security. And they haven't really proved that any crypto is actually a security, especially on the secondary market, which is going to ride heavily against the SEC. Another piece of news is AGI has partnered with ICP AGIX, and they want to bring ICP into the digital kind of AI market. So ICP might have a reason for bullishness, as AGIX also has a reason for bullishness because they actually want to merge the two together. And of course, having AI as part of your project will help ICP. And SingularityNet partnering with ICP, which is partnering with a bigger crypto project, should actually help SingularityNet, so it could help both of them. So research and development firm Definity Foundation from Cointelegraph has partnered with artificial AI-focused blockchain firm SingularityNet to improve the infrastructure of decentralized AI and allow decentralized apps on ICP, Internet Computer Blockchain, and access to large language models or LLMs. LLMs are something that Cardano is actually developing. So somehow this might actually involve Cardano as well in the future, because Charles has been making a big deal about that. So the companies announced the launch of a joint initiative to integrate the ICP blockchain with a Singularity Net marketplace. So the marketplace will be able to operate on multiple chains. According to a statement sent to Cointelegraph, the initiative aims to address the lack of transparency in the training data of AI tools because of its centralized nature. And they want to decentralize AI, which is probably a good idea because AI is going to have a lot of power. You don't want all that power data all in one place because that can definitely run into problems in the future. Basically, they want to connect the AI use with the ICP network, and the announcement highlighted that the decentralized AI models on ICP are run within smart contracts. So, Ben Gortzel, the CEO of SingularityNet, highlighted that many experts believe that AI is about to break through into human-level artificial intelligence. I think that's going to take a while, but it eventually will happen, and they want that power actually decentralized. Given this context, it is extremely important that we move rapidly towards making the most advanced AI systems on the planet available via decentralized networks, not owned or controlled by an elite group, big tech company, or government agency. And that's important because this AI stuff is going to be extremely powerful. You don't want like Microsoft or Amazon or Apple controlling Terminator, because that would be bad because they could actually terminate anyone that stands in their path, much like they're doing from a business sense today. But they could actually terminate people if they have in real Terminator. So it is very important that we decentralize it, that it's more controlled by the masses than by any one elite company. Of course, there has been an uptick in projects using AI on the ICP blockchain, and I think this will help bolster that ICP narrative on the AI narrative on ICP, and will be good for the ICP investors. And obviously, like partnering with a bigger project or a bigger chain is generally good for a smaller chain. So it's a boon for AGIX as well. MasterCard is going to use AI to detect crypto fraud. And this is basically a a collaboration between Feedzai and MasterCard, and they want to expand crypto fraud protection for consumers globally. So obviously, people don't get tricked by crypto fraud because there's still a lot of people falling for crypto scams. He estimated that 40% of scams transactions exit directly from a bank account to a crypto exchange. According to Feedzai's recently report, the monitoring of cryptocurrency effectively is still one of the biggest challenges for financial institutions, and MasterCard is going to try to fix that. Partnership comes just months after MasterCard announced its new solution that helps banks identify scams in account-to-account payments. This is from MasterCard.com, by the way. Using AI, MasterCard Consumer Fraud Risk enables banks to intervene in real time and stop a payment before the funds leave a victim's account. I guess this stuff could actually make people more interested, not just more interested, but more confident in crypto, which would actually spur more crypto adoption. So I am for all this stuff. I just hope that this stuff does not get abused in the end and ends up working against crypto. And last of all, Bitrex Global is dead. Do 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 do. Anyone could have actually seen this coming, by the ways, because about 9 months ago, Bitrex did shut down its USA division, and they've been really, really hard hit by just like the international sanctions and the regulations that have actually been in the space afterwards. I think like the American division, which might have actually been their main division. I mean, the UI on Bitrex has always been god awful, and I think that's probably one of the main reasons for their demise. So, case in point, if you run a crypto project, please hire good AI UI developers. It's not just the project and the ease of use and everything. It's just like really like how people see the interface. That's very, very important. I remember using Bitrex. It was god awful. It took me forever to figure out how Bitrex worked back then. And I basically stopped using Bitrex because of that. So that was probably one of the reasons of its downfall. But also the US regulations played a really, really big role. That shut down about 9 months ago, and they're probably having trouble with international regulations as well. And so they finally shut down for good. That's another exchange shutting down. It wasn't a very big exchange, so it probably won't hit the crypto market really that hard. But you know, like the more choices we have, the better it is. And like so, a loss of what was once a pretty good exchange is always a big loss for the industry and consumers, obviously, as a whole. But I think we will keep rolling on just fine, as you know, the big exchanges like Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, and others are actually rolling on just fine, and they will be with us in the next bull market. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button. Thank you, and have a nice day.